This is test 2 of the Drumlin Hills MX Sprint Enduro, Michigan Sprint Enduro series here. So we start off here, we got a nice long grass track you can see off in the distance there. We're going to end up way over there and make our way into the woods here. So the rain has stopped at this point. This is actually my second time through this particular test. I watched the video from the first time I rode this, and I had too much water on my GoPro lens, and then I got a piece of mud on there within the last 5 minutes of the video, and it really distorted things. So this wasn't a great lap, but it's definitely better to watch. You can see what's going on as compared to the first lap today. This test was about somewhere between 6 and 6.5 miles, and it consisted of a wide variety of terrain. So we had that grass track at the beginning, and then we've got some tighter single track that's going to be coming up here. A lot of off-camber stuff through the woods. For those of you that are familiar with this property, a lot of steep elevation changes, so it makes it fun to ride. And then we ride a hillside kind of through like a thicket almost, and it's a lot of up and down, back and forth, where visibility is low, where you can't see more than 30 or 40 feet in front of you. So you kind of got to take your time going through there, not knowing which way the trail is going to be going next. So this was a very, very fun lap. I have no idea how that happened, but that tree that I hit there actually didn't hit my bark buster. I hit my wrist on it. It came up underneath my bark, cut my wrist pretty good there through my jersey and everything. But no idea how it fit underneath my bark busters there. So thus far this lap, nothing too technical really. We're just kind of riding the top of that hillside, nothing really too off camber. And as we go into the woods here, we're kind of riding halfway up the hill where this is where we start to encounter our first really off camber riding of the test. And anyone familiar with the GoPro lens really knows that it doesn't do it justice as far as the angles and the grade. It all kind of tends to flatten everything out here, so this is really a lot more extreme angle than what it appears. And right there, I think I hit my bark buster trees every lap, but other than that was about the only part that was tight enough that I barely fit through. I thought I was going down there. I got a little bit offline and started bouncing across those rocks there, and I barely saved that one. I was fortunate not to hit the ground. So we come up along the MX track here, you can see off to the right. So the Enduro section is off to the left here. And I had walked this previously in the day before this began, and I made the determination that this was almost as quick as the Enduro section itself. And if I had any hiccup in the Enduro section, that this would probably be quicker. And let's face it, I'm a sea rider, not the best at all the obstacles and logs and whatnot, but probably could have done it. But at the same time, there's probably a good chance that I would have gone down at least once in there. So I had made that pre-race call to take the diversion there, the little escape route, and I took that all 4 laps, and I actually passed people doing that had gone into the Enduro section on lap 3, and I actually beat them out just taking the diversion loop. So that was my call. There's probably about a mile of this section just kind of weaving in and out of this thicket, real tight brush where you can't really see too much visibility ahead of you. And you know, this is all being ridden on the hillside, kind of off camber, going back and forth, so it made for an entertaining ride, to say the least. Letting him know I'm here, so he'll move over here shortly. It's kind of the courteous thing to do. If you catch somebody in a sprint enduro, they're clearly faster than you, so I pull over for people a couple times, I think, in this video too, as he did there for me. It's just kind of the courteous thing. If you've made up 15 seconds or more, let the guy go. He's clearly faster. Morning session, they had cut out a significant portion of the Enduro test. I think their course was probably about cut in half compared to what ours was. And I had trouble with this little section right here all day. I think one time I hit it clean, and a couple times I had people hung up there in front of me. It was this little tricky downhill turn that gave me problems all day. But anyway, Braden was worried about this race when he saw there was potential for rain in the forecast, because he had that hare scramble here earlier in the year, and he literally probably had a 35-minute first lap, I want to say, and he got stuck on 2 different hills where he was just spinning out. And then once you fall on that stuff, it's, especially when you're 90 pounds trying to lift a dirt bike up, it makes for a lot of work. So he had a tough race. Second lap was clean though, and he actually came back and actually won that hare scramble. But you know, he still had nightmares about how difficult it was and how terrible his first lap experience was, because of riding all the off camber on the slippery terrain when it was downpouring. But so he was excited to hear that they wouldn't have to ride a lot of that during this, and as it turned out, they were completely dry for their race anyway. And even for ours, the little bit of rain that we did get wasn't enough to make it treacherous at all. I mean, it was pretty grippy all day long. That hill that I just went up there, if you stood right there and kind of overlooked this valley, it's an amazing view of the motocross track. As you can see down here, you got the pines and the swamp off in the background. I mean, it was a great vantage point to watch, you know, this event unfold. So I'm really looking forward to more events here now that this MX track is in, because it really added a whole nother dimension to a property that was already amazing. first lap I came through that section right there, there was a couple riders that were hung up there, and I was able to somehow squeeze through there and get by them. Probably a lot more action on my first lap video than what there is here. I was kind of all by myself for most of this lap, but as I said earlier, you couldn't see half of the video because it was raining and I got mud on my lens and water, and it just looked terrible. So I figured I'd post this one instead. So you've got the cross-test riders coming towards you on this one, going across the little motocross track here that we ran in the hare scramble this year, as we're going up the left-hand side of the woods here. This section right up here got dug out by the fourth lap. By the time I came through, there were two riders that kind of slipped off the side of this trail here down the hillside and were trying to get their bikes upright to get back on the main trail to continue. So I really took my time coming through this on the fourth lap, just because I don't think I would have had the energy to even upright my bike to get back on the main trail to proceed. I mean, it's just such steep terrain. It really would have taken a lot of energy to do that. So I figured I'd better off being slower than having something like that happen on my last lap. And I'm going to make a big gap here. I had a pretty good lap going, actually, when I look back at my lap times until this happens. I'm coming down here, I kind of bounced, and I just didn't get slowed up in time to make that turn, and I shoot off here, and yes, I probably could have gone right back up here and been okay, but sprint enduro rules, if you go off course, you're supposed to re-enter the course as where you went off, and there was a track worker up there, and not to say I would have done anything differently if he had not been there, but I went back to where I actually went off and then popped back up here. And as I look back on this, I'm like, my God, what am I doing? I should have popped up right here, and I turned the bike around. Takes some more time. I lost, I think, when I looked at it, probably close to 50 seconds here before I get going. So that kind of really put a damper on this lap. This probably would have been my best enduro test of the day if it had not been for that little mistake there. It was right at the end of the lap. I mean, I literally had a quarter mile left in the lap. So this is what they call the extreme section of the day, and it consisted of some washed out rain ruts, some really deep sand, and I guess this is sponsored by Extreme Suspension or something like that. So, and this brings you into to the final check here, your timing and scoring loop here. So that completes the 6.5 mile enduro test here. And hats off to everybody that worked these scoring stations all day. I saw a lot of you at the family enduro the day before, and you guys put in work there as well. So big thank you to everybody that helped put this event on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you here next week in Portland.